Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday, April the 12th, 2022. I'm Doug. It's time for the Daily Quordle. Our good friend U2U49 writes, just for fun, you could try one of my silly theme word sets, and this one is gross food combos. Mango liver syrup wretch. Well, I like to spice things up from time to time, and this seems like just the ticket. So let's see. Mango. Okay, doesn't give us too much. Let's try liver. So far, nothing's jumping off the page. We do have 4 of the letters in the first puzzle, N, G, O, and R. We have the last 2 in position, E and R, within mystery O, and not a heck of a lot in 3 and 4. So let's move along and try syrup. And here is syrup. So it's interesting. Looking at the third puzzle, we have an S and we have a P in the first and last positions, respectively. We also have M and A somewhere in the puzzle. So looking at the various consonants, it immediately comes in focus because W is right there. And like I look at things clockwise, is swamp. And then I look at the very next letter over and I see T, so it could be stamp. So we have at least a 50-50 here. We have swamp, we have stamp. Let me just peruse the other consonants real quickly. Shamp is not a word. Scamp, S-C-A-M-P. So I can think of, there's like a 1 and 3 on that, and I don't really know that I want to expend guesses going down the line on there when I could probably evaluate more letters, but that's going to be an interesting one to look at. Again, not a heck of a lot of additional insight on the other puzzles specific to syrup. So let's go ahead and retch, as they say. Throw the retch in there, and that gives us, well, that's interesting. Going over to puzzle 3, and we do retch, we get, that's amazing to me. So of swamp, stamp, and scamp, it has revealed itself to be scamp. Boy, I'm glad we didn't go down the swamp and stamp rabbit hole, because that would have been the third guess if I went down there. So obviously, so the gross food combos played correctly were helpful. We'll take scamp. That I bet you that's going to trip people up, just for the record. It's my prediction. Going over here, we have A in the correct position. We have T, I, and C elsewhere. I wonder if the T is in the beginning area. So T-A, and then you've got a C and an I hanging out there. I wonder if it's tacit. Tacit would be a double T. Feeling somewhat good about that, but let me just take a quick peek at the other puzzles before we commit. Puzzle 2, again, we have E and R, and we have an O somewhere else. So not a heck of a lot to work with here just yet. So that's fine. Going back to puzzle 1, again, not a lot here, besides what we have already revealed. I guess we know for sure that the R is going to be in the second or fourth position. So there's that. Yeah. It could be grown. G-R-O-W-N. I suppose that's possible. I feel like we have one more kind of evaluation word we could do before we have to run the table on the other 3. I feel pretty good about, again, tacit in the fourth puzzle, but I don't want to use that yet. I feel like maybe we can be well served by doing one evaluation guess, although there's risk there, right? Because we're going to have to get, we're going to have to figure a lot of this stuff out. So, I wonder if I could find something that I could do where, for example, the R is in the second or fourth position and also gives me at least the W in one of the other words, right? What about rec? So rec gives me that R intel for the first puzzle. It evaluates W and K. It does leave DFB in play. How about... I almost feel like the D is more important than the K, spider senses. Now, if I did the word drawn, I wouldn't get any help with the A because we've already evaluated in the middle, but I would get D and W and I would get the R intel. So there's that. That could be a spot. So it's drawn or rec. It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of fielder's choice on that. And unfortunately, yeah, it's a 50-50. I'm gonna go with drawn. I feel like D is maybe a little more possible here than rec. So we're gonna try drawn. Yep. And what will that reveal to us? Again, we're gonna have to get these, but I at least know that I'm pretty sure about tacit. Oh, drawn. Okay, let's scoot over to the first puzzle. We have RWN. Okay, grown. So we got the first puzzle with it. Grown, GROWN. So very, very happy about that guess. Now, again, we do have to get the second and the fourth back to back here, but we also got with drawn on that second puzzle the fact that there's a D in here. So well, it's not order because we evaluated R in the second spot, right? We know that... Oh, wait a minute. Let me see here. We know that the R is definitely at the end. There's an E. So we have a D and an O. We have a D and an O. Okay, we'll come back to that one. Over here, again, I keep thinking tacit. I really, really think tacit is the way to go on this one, especially now looking at the letters that are outstanding. So I think I have to go with tacit here. There it is, tacit. Okay, so that gets us back to our second puzzle here. Oh my goodness gracious. What could be going on here? Okay, so we have a D and an O, and possibly, let's see, OD, OD, so DO, dozer. Boy, no, it's not because the D is not in the first spot. I'm sorry, the D is not in the first spot. We have the O. I don't think the O is in the first spot. I feel like it's going to be in the second spot. So it'll be ODER. There's nothing that makes sense. Well, let's do a little visualization because we really need to make sure we get this guess to make sense. So if we go with O and the D in the second and third spot, respectively, I don't like it because I can't think of anything that makes any sense here. So I think we can rule that out. So the other combination would be if it was something, if it was, for example, DOER, but that's not true because the O is not in the third spot. So O, D, something ER could be a possibility. Oh, wait a minute. It could be... No, it's not order because R is not in the second spot. So OD something ER. Interesting. That isn't really making any sense to me. The O has to be in the first or second spot. The D in the third spot I couldn't find an O and D here. Okay. Let's see. This is interesting. Is there a double? No, that doesn't make sense. Oh dear, ODEER isn't a word. O has to be in the first or the second spot. I'm not coming up with any combination. OXD. So again, with OXDER, and we know it's not order because the R can't be there. Could it be otter? ODDER? That almost feels like the only thing that makes sense here. Will that be considered a word? Like, that's the only thing that makes sense here. ODDER. This is tricky, very tricky. And I'm not coming up with any other valid words that fit the position information that we have. Because R is not part of it. The O has to be in the first or second. And the D has to be in the second or the third. So there's not a heck of a lot of different combinations here. So I'm coming up with otter. I guess we're going to have our proverbial moment of truth. Folks, is the answer otter? It is. All right, it's otter. Oh, that was a tricky one. That last word was really tricky. So the gross food combos. A fun time today. Thank you so much, UTU49. Please feel free to submit some more interesting, silly theme word sets. I think that was a lot of fun. Please, in the comments, if you've got a silly theme word set or a Quordle strat, as they say, let me know. Would love to hear it. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Keeps the channel going. I appreciate the love. We'll see you tomorrow for some more Quordle.